I'm Ross Koppell, sociologist by original training. So electronic health records penetration in the market is up really eightfold since they were first sort of required in 2009. But the appreciation of EHRs is not up. In fact, doctors find them frustrating, clunky, annoying, and a boon to carpal tunnel syndrome surgeons who use them. The first sin, in my opinion, was the lack of usability. Usability was supposed to be required, but the vendors managed to have that circumvented. NIST was supposed to approve all systems, but they got around that. Here's an example. A drop-down menu continues beyond the screen. It goes for another 4 screens, but the physician is not informed. So the physician, very often a resident who uses it, makes a satisficing decision, which is psychotic. Here's another one where I watched a young cardiologist look for hypertension. And she was looking and looking, scrolling up and down. Finally, her chair said, scroll across. She scrolled across to look for hypertension, but actually it was under E for essential hypertension. I mean, this is hunt and peck for medicine. Now, the displays are any way they feel like, okay? So blood level could be under B for blood, L for lead, P for plumism, and the displays are equally chaotic on that. They're all over the place. The second original sin, in my opinion, was that the ONC and others were so eager to get everybody to buy these systems that they paid no attention to data standards. And without data standards, there's no interoperability. Without interoperability, we have towers of babel. These systems do not communicate with each other. They do not communicate even sometimes across the hallway. We have total isolation. The motivation for EHRs was noble. People wanted them. They do wonderful things. They offer all kinds of benefits. And we had faith in the technology, perhaps unrealistic faith in the technology. But what happened, of course, was a combination of regulatory capture and the desire to rush these systems to market while they were still being subsidized and incentivized by the government. So a lot of really, really mediocre, crappy software is out there. And as we'll see, that software is not cheap. So now we have these isolated systems and a series of isolated towers of babel that we call a healthcare system, where everybody can't communicate with anyone else in most circumstances. And with the chaos of no systems for data organization, you have 40 ways of recording blood pressure. Now, the first 3 here, up there, are reasonable. But after that, it's chaos, okay? That's 75, 125. Some programmer programmed it for diastolic first because it's earlier in the alphabet, then systolic 2 screens later with God knows what in between, and the rest are real. Here's even more of them. I mean, all we needed was 2 little columns set and an extra column for the physician to write something reasonable, and we would have had a coherent system for checking blood pressure. So, obviously, we can't go back, and EHRs are wonderful. They offer massive improvements. I'm not a technophobe, but everybody focuses on the $30 billion that the government is giving in incentives. That's just seed money. We're going to spend $3 trillion on EHRs and the like. Penn is spending $1.4 billion on our system. Harvard is $1.7 billion, of which, by the way, $700 million is going to Deloitte. These things are damn expensive. So the solution is to stop silly dilly-dallying, or whatever word, about interoperability standards and just demand data standards right now. We can't keep on saying it's going to be something for the future. And if we could do that, we could mine all of these data, and we could jumpstart medicine 20 years.